all the information once he first will introduce himself. So Daniel, welcome to JConnect. The stage is yours series. We are glad to have you today. And can you please start with introducing yourself?
Yeah, thank you very much, Rina. Yeah, so my name is Daniel Lavi, and I'm one of the founders of ReviveSec. I live in Gan Yavne, which is near Ashdod in Israel. And for the last 13 years, I'm married to Maya Lavi, my beautiful wife. And we have 2 children, Shai and Stav, which are 12 and 8 years old. And also we have Benjamin with us, our dog, which we love him so much. So, yeah.
And if you will mention a bit about your work experience, your background.
Okay. So basically, before that we started ReviveSec, my previous role was in Checkpoint. I was a professional services, and my role was to travel around the world, visit some huge customers, and trying to help them understand how to figure out what are the issues with their security gateway and how to make their daily life much more productive. And yeah, it was a very nice time for me.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, yes. And during that time, I had a very nice manager.
I wonder who.
I wonder who.
Yeah, you weren't just a professional consultant. Really, you were a very senior consultant. You had the experience of security and networking from the market for many years, and you were definitely trusted advisor of the customers. I received enough thank you letters from the customers. They expressed their appreciation and dedication of yours in your work. So yeah, as we say, those were the days.
Those were the days, exactly.
So, Daniel, what happened that after working in a Checkpoint for a bunch of years as a professional services consultant, what did you notice? What demand from the customers you got, and you came up with the idea of ReviveSec? And what is ReviveSec?
Okay, so basically, it started 2.5 years ago when I was, as mentioned, traveling to customers, and most of the customers ask for automation, ask for scripts, ask for something that will do their daily life much better. And I think personally that the day when you come to a customer, spend like 7 or 8 days and bother him with like manual commands are long over. Customers expect much more than that. Customers expect that you will have kind of smart automation tool that will, most importantly, will understand how the security gateway is working to give the customer a very good transparency about the security devices, and most importantly, alert him before something happened and not after. And that's, I think, was the point where I realized that we need to do something else. We need to write something else for the customers. And I think that was the point when I decided to leave Checkpoint and do something for myself.
Great, it's really exciting. I think cybersecurity is one of the most hot topics in the last years. And as you said, the customers are expecting an automation tool for their sake and for their daily basis work. And again, it sounds a great idea to have it. So how does it look like? Do you have a platform right now? How does it work?
Yes, so actually from the moment that we decided to do that, I left Checkpoint around, I think it was like August 2019. Mm-hmm. And the day after, we started to intensively develop. So we started to develop, I think, like 15 or 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, me and my partner. And I think that after like 6 or 7 months, we had our first MVP, which was only like an engine without UI. It was like a very basic UI. And we already had 2 customers that were wanted to participate in our pilot that were actually customers that knew me and trusted me, and like they had some confidence about me that I will develop something that it will be beneficial for them. Mm-hmm. And that's how we started. Basically, we started to install Revive inside our partners, so like our customers. It wasn't our customers actually, because they didn't pay, but they were like very good experience for us, for them, and also for us.
This is really great. First of all, when you step into the startup world, you find yourself, as you mentioned, 15 hours a day. You are
Crazy.
working, sometimes even more. You can't sleep,
Crazy.
and so on. It
Crazy.
sounds like both you and your business partner is like technical background, has the technical background. So this is great, and it's great that you found quickly partners that they were open to have a pilot with Revive.
Yeah. Actually,
Can we
found...
see how it looks like?
I can share with you some slide. Like, I didn't want to get into the product, to dive into the product, but only to show like in high level. So I can share with you my screen if you don't mind. Just a minute. Okay. Okay, so basically, what is ReviveSec? ReviveSec is something that the customer, once he installed the software inside the organization, he immediately starting to see things that he didn't see before, because the software is working in real time, and we have, in one iteration, which lasts 35 seconds only, we run something like 600 commands. And it doesn't matter if the customer has 1 cluster or 2 cluster or 100 cluster. We do that in parallel, and we do that in real time. And like I mentioned before, we alert the customers about things that might happen in 6 or 7 hours from now. And we try to do that in a way that the customer won't have any downtime or any interruptions in his environment. So that's exactly what we wanted from Revive. We wanted to do a very sophisticated algorithm that knows how to see things, how to remediate things on the fly, things that we think that the solution is black and white and it won't cause any false positive. We will do that automatically for the customers. So we started with the proactive check, with the health check mode, which covered everything from the physical to the application layer, including the network layer. And then the customer started to give us some ideas. You know what? If you have the health check mode, then maybe you can develop another module that do that and that. And also we had some ideas about how to develop and how to proceed from that point. So I think that in the last 12 months, we developed additional 9 modules.
Wow.
For the moment, we have 10 modules. And I can just briefly go over them. And then I will talk about another major module that we did or we ended 4 months ago. So basically, if we are inside the security gateway and we have the permission, so why not to backup? So we developed a safe repository, and then we take the configuration, the full configuration, and in any given moment, the customer can restore the configuration from Revive server itself. Then we said, okay, if the customer has RESTful API, why not to give him the option to automatically create some bulk of users or bulk of hosts or bulk of networks, the same things for deleting. He doesn't need to do that manually because it's just a waste of time. We thought about the regulation audit, some finance companies that needs to trace each activity that users typing in the security gateway. So for example, if I log inside the security gateway and I delete a specific route, that's a major command. Or if I delete something from the database, that's also a major command. So we trace everything that is major, and in any given moment, we can give the customer a full report about what exactly the user did and in what time. Then one customer asked us, you know what, I replaced the backbone, the Cisco backbone one day, and then the configuration wasn't consistent between each module. So we said, okay, so let's write a comparison module that will consistently compare the cluster configuration and see if there are any difference, and then we can send reports. And then we had some like spike in throughput where the throughput goes up and down, and we try to figure out how to find a way to tell the customer what was the cause of that spike. So we found a way, and now we are able to show the customer the average throughput, the maximum throughput, and to drill down for each connection that's causing that throughput. And that's a very important information for the customers. And last but not least, every customer that uses Checkpoint with IPS and is trying to activate the IPS, sometimes, not always, but sometimes there are some issues with the signatures, some signature causing some high latency and high load. And now we can go inside each signature and tell the customer, you know what, that signature, specific signature, causing high latency to the firewall. So go to Checkpoint and tell them to write a fix for that, or maybe you don't need that signature, that relevant signature to your organization. So that's what we actually did in terms of the health check module for the last 12 months. And I can tell you that from the moment those customers that working with Checkpoint installed Revive, it literally comes hand in hand with Checkpoint, and it works perfectly. The customers understand the value of ReviveSec, and the customers understand that if they have Checkpoint, they need to have Revive in order to have a full transparency and efficiency in their network. And most of our customers are using all of our modules and are very, very satisfied with it.
Is it mainly kind of add-on for Checkpoint products or also for other security solutions?
Okay, so the proactive check and the health check is mainly for Checkpoint, because I think that someone like me that has years of experience in Checkpoint and in the security world, it's important for me to write something that I know for 100%. Sure. I can't write something for Palo Alto because I'm not familiar with Palo Alto, or for Cisco. Mm-hmm. If we will decide to do a proactive check for other vendors, we will probably hire some seniors like me, but in the Palo Alto world or in the Cisco world. But now I'm going to talk about other major model that we did and developed. And it was, I think we started to publish that model 4 months ago. We wanted to make ReviveSec as a must-have software and not nice to have, because the health check module is nice to have. The customer knows in any given moment what's going on with his network and everything, but we wanted also to prevent cyber attacks to the customer network. And we did it based on the behavior of the connection table. Now, we know that we connected to the firewall, to the security gateway, and we know how to see every connection that goes in and out. So if we know how to do that, we know how to trace the connection, and we know how to analyze the behavior inside the connection table, and we know how to pull out the bad guys from that connection table. So the moment when we started to do that, most of the customers tried to use it, and they saw that we don't have any false positive. Our catch rate stands above 98%. We also know how to block malicious IP, so we know how to identify them. We know how to block them in real time without causing any downtime, false positive, etc. And most of our customers, and we have like finance company that has sensitive information and they cannot allow themselves to have downtime in the middle of the day, they allow us to do full remediation about blocking on the cybersecurity world. So every customer gets alert, daily report alert about the malicious IP that arrived to the organization. He gets alert about the blocking IP that Revive already blocked, and he gets immediate alert if something very urgent coming to the firewall. So if, for example, there is some kind of attack or something like that, we block that, and also we immediately alert the customers. And I think that that module turned Revive into a must-have product, because we are not depending on any external resource like IP reputation or any IP signatures that belong to that vendor or another. We're basically looking into the connection table, and we know how to pull out the bad guys. And customers love that you have a unique algorithm that does not depend on any other vendor. So I think that that's something that most of our customers love it. And we can see that most of our customers, when they purchase Revive, they're asking for the behavior analysis as well.
Sounds great. It sounds like once you will have more and more demos and POCs, the customer will request for more and more models for you to develop. And it's really exciting to see that.
Yeah. Another thing that we did from the network perspective, and it actually came from some companies in Israel that they hacked lately, we can also trace activity from inside the organization outside. So for example, if you have kind of like frustrated employees that want to upload some information, some sensitive information from the organization, from the on-premise outside to an external servers, we will know how to trace them. And we will know how to send the customer the IP, the DNS, to which IP they try to upload information, and exactly what is the size of the file. So that's also something that the customer can be aware of. And definitely it's important for any organization that has some sensitive information. And as you can see, lately there are so many attacks on so many organizations in Israel and also worldwide. So that's very important as well.
Okay. Great. And